What's up, Pitt fans? I'm Stephen Thompson. That's Abby Schnable. We are coming to you from Acrisure Stadium, where the Pitt Panthers just took down Duquesne 61-9 in the 2025 season opener. Abby, really dominant final score, but it wasn't smooth the entire way through. The offense started a little shaky, seemed to find themselves later in the game. What did you see from Pitt's kind of new look attack a little bit this year?
I think to start, there were just some miscues, maybe not even miscommunications, but just kind of, Eli Holstein said, shaking off the rust, because it has been a really long time since Eli Holstein has actually played in a football game. And so his interception pretty early on, he owned it, that it was a mistake. But once they seemed to start settling in and realize that utilizing Desmond Reid in the run game wasn't working, and started firing it off to the receivers like Blue Hicks, like Kenny Johnson, and really expanding how they were utilizing the offense, things started to settle down, and you could tell with the 61 points scored.
Yeah, it seemed like they were trying to really overwhelm them at first, run the ball in between the tackles. But like Desiree told us, when they were running the ball in between the tackles, Duquesne was kind of overplaying it. And once they were able to get things going out to the perimeter, that's when things really opened up for Pitt. That's true in the run game, true in the pass game as well. When they were able to get guys out in the perimeter, that's when everything else opened up for them. And I think even there were some points left on the board, some plays left on the field. There were plenty of times where I thought Eli Holstein had guys open and just missed them. He admitted to doing that on his one interception in the end zone, a bad read. He just didn't see a defender coming. But I thought there were a couple of other times where there were incompletions or shorter passes that were completed where he could have hit someone further down the field. So, that's kind of the perfect thing that you want out of a game like this. If you're a team like Pitt, you played well, you won in dominant fashion, you did some good things, but also your coaches can still have some stuff to yell at you about in practice next week. While that offense was getting into gear, they did get some help on special teams, most notably Desmond Reid taking another punt return back for a touchdown, 88 yards, longest in stadium history. Does it for the second straight year. He scores Pitt's first points of the year on a punt return. Abby, special teams were huge in this game to keeping Pitt out in front and kind of allowing them some time to get going.
I think sometimes people forget how important special teams are, and you saw it with the punt return, with the kickoff return. Desmond Reid and Kenny Johnson were really allowing Pitt to have a good advantage once it turned over to the offense, which allowed them, with their miscues, to have a little bit of a cushion, because they didn't have nearly as far to go as they would have without the run. So that was good to see. And I mean, you got to give a shout out to Trey Bukowski too. Opening debut, he only missed one kick, but it was blocked, and that's kind of hard to overcome in general. Two field goals, and just an overall good day for the freshmen and for the special teams in general.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Pitt accounted for 220 yards on kick and punt returns. I think when you look at the special teams rankings at the end of week one, Pitt's going to be among the national leaders in not just kind of efficiency on special teams, but in terms of total yards and touchdowns and things like that. Jake Bronowski completely remade special teams at Pitt when he took over last year. It was a massive improvement from 2023, and you can see that on the field now. You saw it last year, but in these return units, Pitt has taken a notable step forward. They're playing a lot of their best guys on special teams, not just on the return units, but on the coverage units too. And it's really paying dividends. They take special teams a lot more seriously, honestly. I think right now it's not just a place for freshmen to prove themselves, it's a place for actual starters and contributors to make plays. One of the other units that really helped Pitt stay in this game and was consistent really for most of the game all the way through was the defense. I mean, it was completely dominant. I mean, you saw it from the opening kickoff and the first possession. Duquesne just could not block Pitt.
Nope. Yeah, but yeah, it was like 3-and-out, 3-and-out, 3-and-out for Duquesne almost any single time they were on offense, which is probably really frustrating for an offense when nothing that you're doing is working. They did have one big rush and one big pass down that got through Pitt's defense, which obviously not great to see from an FCS team. I will say that the run was early in the game when they were still kind of working out some of those kinks. But I mean, you look at four sacks in the opening game is pretty solid, with Kyle Lewis getting two of those back to back. Cameron Lindsay, who's
a big one,
a younger guy trying to get into that linebacker core, really raise his stock a bit. And then even Joey Zielinski transfer on the defensive line, again another guy really trying to show what he can do on the field, and all those little bright spots were huge because it stifled Duquesne's offense a lot, and Duquesne's offense has a lot of returners on it. That offensive line is all 5 returners. So for Pitt's defense to really break through that and not stifle just Tyler Riddell, but also Logan Kushner, like it wasn't one or the other. It was just, as you said, consistent from start to finish.
Yeah, I think that 17-yard run they gave up was the longest of the day for Duquesne. That was one of the first play. It was on the first drive. I believe it was the first snap of the game for Duquesne. And then, one kind of play where Javon McIntyre just kind of got beat over the seam by Joey Isabella, who's a really good player. Yes. But, Javon McIntyre, you look at that, that's a player who needs to be better in pass coverage. It was something he really struggled with last year. It's one of the areas you really like them to clean up with. But I like what you said about Joey Zielinski and Cam Lindsey. Those are 2 guys who, because of some injuries at defensive end and linebacker, they're going to need to step up. And so it was really good to see those guys making plays. Overall, lots of encouraging things from the Panthers, albeit against an FCS team, but you will take a 61-9 win any day of the week against any kind of opponent. So Pitt is 1-0. They're back here same time next week hosting Central Michigan in week 2. Stay tuned to our YouTube channel, PG Pitt, for all kinds of coverage throughout the rest of football season. Check out post-gazette.com for plenty of coverage from Abby, myself, and Jason Mackey, our one columnist who is here with us this weekend too. We appreciate you guys joining us, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you for checking out this content from Post-Gazette Sports. If you watch this video on YouTube, please like the video and subscribe to our channel. For all of the sports coverage the Post-Gazette has to offer, visit post-gazette.com.